Christmas. Santa, magic. It's such a wonderful time of year. That is, until it isn't. Let's face it, moms, being the keeper of childhood Christmas magic is a lot. It's a lot of sleepless nights, it's a lot of tantrums from the kids and from us, and it's a lot of obligations that we don't necessarily know how to say no to.
I just like to smile. Smiling my favorite.
Make work your favorite. That's your favorite.
Okay.
Work is your new favorite.
Fine.
Time for an announcement. Okay, people, tomorrow morning, Santa's only
Oh my God!
So the thought of doing the whole charade over again this year can send a lot of us hiding under our blankets. I'm here to say fuck it to that. I love Christmas and have found ways to continue loving it as a single mom of 4. In this holiday series, I'll be joined by guests and experts who will share how they find balance through the holidays so they don't turn into the Grinch on the street. It can be the most wonderful time of the year for moms too. The secret? Learning when to say fuck it. Welcome everyone to this episode of Merry Fuck It Christmas. I am your host, Amanda Haro, and I have another wonderful guest, and I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Irina Shehovsov, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. Irina, I was on Irina's podcast and I was chatting with her about coming on to my podcast, but I was like, just so you know, if we talk about normal stuff, the episode won't go out until next year because I'm already all booked out, but I'm doing this Christmas thing, this special Christmas thing. Then she started talking to me about her experience with Christmas coming here as an immigrant. And I was like, this is fascinating. Can you come on? So thank you for being willing to come on and talk with this crazy Christmas lady.
Sure.
So what country are you originally from?
I'm from Uzbekistan.
Okay.
That's me.
And when did you move here?
I think it was about more than 30 years ago, 95. How many years is that?
It's a decent amount of years. How old were you when you moved over here?
I was 17.
Okay. How was that transition for you as a 17-year-old girl?
It was interesting. I thought I came to America, but everybody actually spoke Russian when I came in my neighborhood. Where am I? For me, maybe it was a culture shock. In the beginning, I didn't know English, but I couldn't immediately speak. So I would understand what people would tell me. And then I couldn't reply back right away.
Right.
It was weird. Like in the airport, somebody was asking me something. It's like, yeah, I get you, but I cannot reply.
Yeah. I've heard that from a lot of people who are learning a second language. The understanding tends to kick in first, but then the replying part, it's like, I don't know how to reply to you.
Yeah, so it was interesting. But then I kind of slid back into things. I do love foreign languages. And it was interesting. I started learning Spanish and then French when I was in college. It was a fascinating journey.
Nice. That's awesome. So what were your holiday traditions in your home country?
So the biggest holiday for us was the New Year's, and then birthdays. It was like, okay, I mean, it's the same here. But the New Year Day, New Year's Eve, the day before the clock strikes 12, was what was mostly celebrated. It was about, I know how in America you start putting Christmas tree immediately after Thanksgiving, like the next day.
I start after Halloween.
Oh, look at you. And in that tradition, it didn't matter, like as long as on the night off, so you could start decorating your tree, like say on December 31st in the morning. As long as you have the tree by the time the clock strikes 12, then you got. So we didn't have that, everything leading up to it. Although the holiday was associated with the smell of mandarins and the pine needles. That's how you would know like this coming, because here you have an abundance of fruit and vegetables and everything, but there we lived seasonally. We used to eat seasonal produce, so what was available at the time. So the sense of New Year was associated with that smell of fresh mandarins, and you peel the mandarin and you smell that citrusy skin and the pine needles. That's kind of, if I remember back, that was New Year meant. And then, of course, the big celebration when, you sit around the table and you had like a movie that the whole country used to watch. And it's a funny movie how a guy gets into, he gets drunk basically with his friends. And then he gets put onto the airplane and sent to another city. But the funny part is that they used to build the same kind of how you call it, apartment buildings in the same set. So even though he went into another city, the
It's exactly
layout
the same.
of how you call it, because it's like, I guess, model projects or whatever. So
Hmm.
he gets in, he thinks into his own apartment, and then, and then somebody else, and then the girl comes in, and it's like the whole love story. It's a funny movie, but the whole country used to watch that movie every New Year. It was kind of a tradition,
Yeah.
getting drunk and putting, I call it, watching this. The guy, I mean, gets drunk, but people can celebrate, and it's a fun
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. That's so interesting that you guys put like such an emphasis on the new year, not so much Christmas. So do people celebrate Christmas, or is it just kind of like, meh?
Well, in a Russian Orthodox tradition, the Christmas is actually January 7th, so it's not in December, it's in January. It's a little bit after the fact. And growing up, it wasn't so much kind of religious holidays. It was, what is that name? Nobody believes in anything.
Pagan
Not,
or
not
atheist?
pagan. Yeah, atheist. Yeah, atheist. So it
Okay.
was more an atheist. And I think only maybe after I left, nowadays everybody is like, has to be associated with certain kind of religion or follow a certain set of rules. But back then it was mostly atheists. You celebrate New Year's. Another day we had, it wasn't so much of a celebration, but it was the day of like a Labor Day you have here in September. We used to have it, it's international in May. I think it was May. Another one was March 8th, which is International Women's Day, and that was widely celebrated.
Yes.
Women would get cards and chocolates and so on, and flowers. And another one was
That's nice. They should do that over here. We don't get anything. It's just the feminists going on social media being like, yeah, girl. That's all that happens on International Women's Day over here.
yeah, it was like a Women's Day, and then there was a Men's Day was when they went into the army. It was like an army day they used to have. It was in February, so men would get celebrated in February and women celebrate in March.
Interesting. That's so interesting. So, how was that transition for you? Like coming over here where it's a totally different story.
It was fascinating and interesting, coming to a new country. I love traveling, being exposed to this kind of thing. But so much in the beginning, it was very interesting because I thought, where did I come? It's still, everybody speaks my language. I don't feel
So, what state
different.
did you go to?
I went to New York, and we have a community in Queens. I guess in New York, they call it a melting pot. So you have different communities, and people sometimes can get born there, live all their life, and never have to speak English. Because unless, I mean, if you want to go pursue other careers, but if you want to kind of stay in your community, then you don't need to. So we have Chinese community with Chinese schools and all that stuff, and Russian. I don't know if I think there are Russian communities as well, but like older people who come already in their retirement years, they don't need to learn the language anyway. For me, I went to college. Well, first year when I came, I was kind of in this transition. I wasn't old enough to go to college yet, and
Right.
learning
Had
the
you already
language.
finished your whatever?
Yeah.
Like, have you already finished high school before you came over?
I did finish high school. It was 11th grade high school, and was complete. I finished in May, and I came here in October.
Well, that's good. At least you didn't have to like finish your last year of high school over here. That would have been fucking atrocious.
No. And then I went into, they had like it was a comprehensive day and night school, and it was for people who couldn't complete high school. I went there just to pick up my language, and it was interesting because people from all kind of walks of life and different age groups that spoke different languages came to the school. I went mostly because my parents couldn't place me anywhere yet because I was too young to go to college, and I want to pick up language so I can speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I was there for about a year, and then I did go to college. I passed my English exam. Actually, no, I didn't pass my English exam because of the way of the style of writing that is done. In Russian, when you write, you gotta interest the reader into your reading, into your writing. in American way of writing, or maybe this particular way of writing, is like you have to write it right in the beginning. I'm going to talk about this, and I'm going to talk about XYZ 3 points, and then you open those 3 points.
I hate that way of writing.
So
Yeah, it's a very clinical, like academic
yes,
approach. I hate it so much. I always hated when my professors used to force me to write a paper in that style. It's so, yeah, it's monotone
so
and not interesting.
I didn't pass the test because of that. Because I,
Right.
but the math exam, I was right there. I passed into calculus immediately, no problem. Because over there, the level is much higher in education, like mathematical education, especially. So it was no breather. But with English, it took me a year, and I was taking like English as a second language classes. It was fascinating, actually. We had professors, like let's say a Greek professor or an Indian professor, who you could hardly understand what they are talking about, yet they are teaching English. First class. We had actually 10 Russian students and a couple of other speaking students. So we were teaching Russian to all the other guys
Oh my gosh.
as opposed to learning English. And then in the final year, in the summer, I took an intensive where we used to write 2 to 3 essays per day. And there, my level of writing became so advanced. They said, "Oh, you should write for New York Times." It was so kind of natural and nice and felt great. And because we were doing it so much, and we had a nice like an English professor who actually spoke English,
Oh my gosh. What a concept.
it was great. Along the way, I was taking Spanish lessons, and I was doing so good. They thought I was majoring in it because I just love affinity for languages, not for any particular purpose, but it just sounded nice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I went and I studied computer information systems with minor in finance, and yeah, that was that journey.
Yeah. So what was your parents, how did your parents handle, how long were you in the house? Were you a typical college student where you stayed in the house with your parents while you were going through college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all stayed
So how
together.
did your parents handle like holiday traditions? Did you guys still celebrate like the holidays that were important to you in the way that you usually celebrated them, or were they interested in sort of trying to acclimate to this new country and our crazy shit?
It was mostly the same kind of holidays. So the New Year's Day, and then little by little,
Yeah.
when I started having kids, then we started celebrating Christmas
Okay.
and Halloween, and especially now we are just entering into the Halloween craze.
Yes, spooky season right now when we're recording. It's October 1st and I'm like in all this Christmas shit.
So yeah, as I started having kids, we started celebrating all the American holidays, and all the Valentine's days, and
All the
Halloween and Christmas, and
right.
New Year's. We still continue to celebrate, and still is
Yes.
major kind of for me, for my kids. I think they do like Christmas because it's associated with presents and the Christmas tree. And my son loves decorating. So now we are in October, and it's like we are behind the schedule. We gotta prepare a house for the Halloween. Everything has to be in the right place.
Yep.
And he starts early, and then when Christmas comes around, like probably in November, he's gonna say, "Oh, we need to start doing the Christmas sticker."
Right. Yes, I agree. So my philosophy with all the decorations and stuff. So I decorated for Halloween Labor Day weekend. I'm going to decorate my house for Christmas on November 1st. And the reason why is because I am a freak and I realize that. I embrace it. I'm abnormal. So I have so many decorations, especially for Christmas, that if I don't start the decorating process early, if I wait until December, there's not enough time for me to get all the decorating done to switch everything in the house and then be able to enjoy it. So that's why I do it so early, because first of all, it brings me joy. So everyone can fuck off, and just have so many different things that I'm swapping out for the holidays that I need the extra time. So that way I can get it all done and then actually like sit and enjoy it for longer than just like a week. Cause I'm not going to do all that work to just sit and enjoy it for a week. No.
When are you taking stuff off? Immediately, like on January 1st?
No, so my birthday is January 6th. My dad's side of the family is Mexican. My grandparents on that side, they are first generation immigrants. So in Mexico, they celebrate Christmas and you do open some gifts on December 25th, but the real big like Christmas day for them is January 6th because that's when the wise men come. So for them, December 25th is when we celebrate Jesus's birthday. And then January 6th is when the wise men come with their gifts. So January 6th is really like the bigger Christmas day for them. And so I use that as an excuse to keep my decorations up for an extra week. That's me. So your boys, their dad is American.
Russian.
Was he from Russia?
He was from Ukraine.
Okay, so he also was like first generation.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So whose idea was it to like jump full, head and dive head first into the American holiday pool? If you guys were both coming from the same, like you both have like the same background of being like first generation immigrants, you had a choice to make. You could have been like, we're just not going to participate in all this extra shit just because we have kids. We're going to still just like focus on New Year's and just kind of like be here for the rest, but not go all out.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like slowly meld after I got married. It slowly melded into that because you had kids and the kids can go and see what other kids are doing.
Right.
So it wasn't like we didn't kind of sit down and make a decision. It was more of, I guess, what everybody else was doing, and especially, I guess, with Halloween, that's what the kids do. That's what, and I guess
Right.
coming here, we used to dress up for Halloween, and they have like Halloween parade in Manhattan, in New York
Mhm.
City, and we used to do that. So it started even before getting married, before
Before the children.
for the children, and then kind of it continued that transition. And Thanksgiving, it's like these are the holidays we celebrate. So when we came here, we had some other family already here, and they were celebrating. So we kind of just picked up, let's say, on Thanksgiving, and then the New Year's. I mean, the Christmas and the New Year's
Yeah.
kept going. So we kind of integrated American and Russian together.
That's awesome. That's so fun. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be hard to acclimate fully when you have kids because, like you were saying, they go to school, they see what the other kids are doing, and they come home and be like, why does our house suck? Why are we this sucky house with nothing?
Yeah.
So is there a Halloween equivalent in your country?
No.
No. Okay. I was curious. I don't know.
When I was growing up, there was nothing like that. It was just if what people would dress up was maybe some kind of an event
Hmm.
for something like a get together, not a get together, but a special occasion of dressing up or doing something fun like that. But
Right.
not we didn't have like in Mexico you have Day of the Dead, or you have
Yep. We have Dia dos Muertos, and that's November 1st. So it's, just one day off. Yeah. So, and it really focuses on remembering your loved ones that have passed and, making their favorite foods and talking about them. So it differs from the American tradition, which is the American tradition is really this hodgepodge of different cultures because our whole country is a hodgepodge. So you have all these different immigrants from different countries and we all come together and, over the years, very similar to your experience, we all just kind of like blend together, so now Halloween is this blending together of all these different traditions from different countries. And it's just kind of now it's this thing where kids dress up and it's a little bit spooky. It has a little bit of like the supernatural, the other side element to it. But, now it's mostly kids dress up and get candy.
yeah, it's more about candy, and they start early, like get me candy. So by the time Halloween comes around, there'll be no candy left because you ate it.
Right? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I'm so sorry. I try to mute my mic whenever I feel a cough, but that one caught me off guard. So what's your favorite part of Christmas now that you've acclimated and you've done stuff for your kids, but what's your favorite part?
My favorite probably making cookies and trying different recipes. We don't get I know kids get excited about the snow. I don't get excited about the snow because I gotta shovel it to clear the driveway.
It is magical though, okay? There is
Right.
like a little bit of magic when it's Christmas time and
Yeah.
there's snow outside.
Yeah.
I get the shoveling, it sucks. I'm in Wisconsin. We get way more snow than you guys.
But in the last couple of years, we didn't get any snow. It was like kind of just plain cold. No snow. It was not magical. And I do love like when the snow coming down. It's so beautiful, and you see the trees and winter wonderland, and amazing.
Yes.
But decorating, I guess, as well. But just putting a Christmas tree together, and doing all the stuff, and seeing how your house kind of lights up. You have this cheer. When you have the cheer, it's like a new hope is born, and you kind of looking forward to what's the new year is gonna bring, and having that kind of experience when you. I don't think we celebrate enough. The days, like day-to-day days, are so muted and just kind of you have a lot of work and you do a lot of chores and you just do life.
Yeah.
And when we get to the holidays, you get to kind of celebrate and you get to put little spark on that day or on that week, and you feel good inside because you get something to celebrate.
Yes, no, I totally agree. And like when all the decorations come down, my kids are like, "Oh, the house is boring." And I feel the same way. I'm like, "Yeah, this place sucks." It just adds something special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's something to take away from this. Is just like how can you kind of keep that spirit throughout the rest of the year? Like find little things to celebrate just because.
Yeah. And now, kind of after Christmas stuff comes down, then next is the Valentine's Day. So all the
Mhm.
cards and we don't really decorate that much, but sometimes we put like flowers, fresh flowers, and yeah. And then next was next
St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. On occasion, I like to cook. I call it the traditional stuff that they do, the corned beef. I think.
Yep, I do the corned beef and potatoes and cabbage every year.
Yeah.
It's fun. And when the kids were younger, I would do little like just go on Pinterest and find little rainbow activities and stuff. So if you get a glass of water and you put shaving cream at the top of it and then give the kids food coloring, so they drop the food coloring and it slowly drips down through the shaving cream. You create like a rainbow storm in the little things like that. It's, it's an activity that's over in like 10-15 minutes, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being with us and sharing your experience. And just, it was so fascinating to me thinking about that because America is a country of immigrants and it must be overwhelming a little bit if you come from a country where Christmas is like not as big of a deal and you come over here, especially if you're my neighbor. It's like,
For us, it was kind of because on the New Year's Day you do exchange gifts as well, so
okay.
you moved it up a little bit for the
Yeah.
kids, like to put the Christmas presents under the tree, and then the Christmas morning they open this up, and then on New Year's Day there is like whatever didn't get opened before.
Yeah, on Christmas. I'm curious. So why do you know why you guys celebrate like Christmas on January 7th? Like why that day?
This is a Russian Orthodox tradition, and it just came around. I guess you said what was it? The wise men. So they probably
Yeah, the wise men gave. Yeah,
they
so
probably have some equivalent of the same wise men.
right. Yeah. That's interesting. I'm going to Google that when we get off because I'm just curious. Well, I like to end every guest episode with a round of lightning questions. But before I do, let people know where they can connect with you if they'd like to connect with you.
Sure. My website is irinashehovsov.com. My YouTube channel is Happiness Academy _. On Instagram, it's read@claim your life. You can read my books on Amazon, and my podcasts are also available wherever you listen to podcasts, Single Parent Success Stories and Reclaim Your Life with Irina.
Lovely. And I will link all of those down below in the show notes. So are you ready for the lightning questions?
Sure. Bring them
Okay.
on.
What was your favorite holiday tradition growing up?
I guess the New Year's Day. The New Year's Day.
But what specifically about New Year's Day?
It's when family gets together, and we have a traditional salad olivia that we eat on this holiday. and just
Okay.
family being together and celebrating, and sitting at the same table and watching those movies that your parents used to watch, and the tradition kind of carries on because they're fun, they're comedies, they're to bring on the cheer, to bring on, and I guess the new hope that you expect. How we always make wishes. I don't know if you do in your tradition, on when the clock strikes 12, like you write your wishes on a piece of paper, and like people sometimes burn it. There are different ways of how you do it, and they drink champagne with the stuff, or you just make a wish, and you hope for what the new year is going to bring. So that hope.
So much more than, because Americans are more focused on like a resolution. So it's an action that you're going to take to like improve yourself, which can become so toxic. So I really love that so much more, because I don't really make resolutions anymore. I'm just like, I'm perfect as I am.
Yeah.
But I love the idea of making a wish instead. I'm going to implement that. Thank you. What is your favorite holiday treat?
I like to bake, so I like to kind of experiment and do new things. So I don't have kind of a set favorite, but it's a trying something I haven't done before, and seeing how that pans out.
Yeah, no, but that's interesting because most people have like their very like specific favorite holiday foods. Like they're just like, it is not Christmas unless I eat this specific food and this specific
Let me
cookie.
rephrase it then. Then salad olivier is associated with the New Year's.
Okay, so what is that exactly? What's
It's just boiled potatoes, boiled carrots, green peas, pickles. Am I forgetting anything? And some kind of meat. So either a sausage or a grilled chicken, not grilled, like roasted in the oven chicken. You chop it up. Everything is like little squares, like diced,
Mhm.
and then you add mayo and a little bit of salt, and mix it all up. So it's very fulfilling. It's meal in itself.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but that's kind of associated with New Year's. Is that salad?
Specific dish.
If you don't have that salad on the New Year's Day, you didn't celebrate New Year's.
You didn't do it right.
So that's kind of a staple if we're talking about the dishes and stuff. And of course, something sweet, but it's not kind of a requirement. That salad is a requirement.
Okay.
In addition to many other dishes, but that's kind of a staple.
Yeah, but that one has to be there. Just like Thanksgiving, there has to be a turkey.
Yes, yes.
What is your favorite holiday movie? So it can be the one from your childhood or like a recent one that you've found as an adult.
I'd say, yeah, that the one I told you about,
The one.
the guy getting drunk and getting shipped off to a different city.
Do you still watch it every year?
Not every year, but occasionally, yeah.
Yeah. What do your kids think of it?
I haven't actually shown it to them.
How is that possible?
I should do that.
Yeah, you have to. That's like the whole point of all of these holidays, is to pass these ridiculous traditions onto our children and for them to ask, why are we doing this? This movie's stupid. Why do we watch it?
Yeah, I don't know if they would get the irony, of, because the movie is called The Irony of Fate. That's the movie's name, the title.
Yeah.
The irony is, first of all, that you go to a different city and you get the same kind of set of apartment buildings, that your key fits, especially your key fits from
In the other apartment. Yeah.
a different city. I mean, those were like big cities, and the whole like storyline. I mean, it's fun. It's fun how kind of fate, and then how people get together and they had like a love story going on. It was funny. Yeah, I will show to the kids. I don't know if they will get it though.
Well, probably not, but that's irrelevant. They need to know what this movie is.
Yeah.
So are you pro Christmas cards or no Christmas cards?
I'm okay with them. I mean, if I call it, I started recently since I started doing podcasting and book writing and all that other stuff, that I started sending greeting Christmas cards to other people. But before that, it was just not so much. It wasn't like a big deal, or it wasn't part of. It never even came into my mind.
Right.
And
a lot of people get stressed out about Christmas cards because they like put that expectation on themselves, but then they get stressed out about it. And so I always like asking that question because it's usually a pretty heated answer.
No.
So I love that you're completely neutral about it.
I'm totally fine. I mean, it's always nice to get, how I have a friend, she says, We all we get in the mail is bills and some. And when you get a Christmas card or any kind of card, it's kind of fun to expect something different, something to look forward to, like a cheer.
Yes, exactly.
As opposed to, oh, it's not a bill I gotta pay.
Right, exactly.
So like happy mail.
Yes, yes. And this question I ask in my regular lightning questions, but it's just too good. I have to keep it, even though it's not Christmas themed. And I stole it from the Low Life podcast, but I don't care. It's too good. If your belly button was an actual button, what would it do?
It would smile. It would giggle.
It would giggle.
Giggle on demand. When you have a bad day, when you don't feel like good, you suddenly press the button and you feel awesome.
Love it. Love it. And finally, what is one holiday obligation you would like to say fuck it to?
I don't know. Obligation. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you not feel like you have any like holiday specific obligations?
Decorating. Christmas is fun, but like other stuff like Halloween decorating, I'm okay with that. I'm not like oh my god about it. Versus my kids are, so I'm doing it for them.
Right. But if it weren't for them, you would like to say fuck it to the Halloween decorations. Okay. I feel that. Thank you so much, Irina. I really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me.